Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and the day is finally here. We have the new restriction list for the One Piece card game announced in Japan. So this is just for Japan right now. We don't know when it's going to happen in North America. I'm still hoping for OP08 release, but we'll find that out in the next couple weeks. But we're going to go over the cards that were hit and then my thoughts of what that's going to do to the meta in the future for it. So we're just going to jump on into it, and we do have my guesses. I did make a video last week. In general, I have not played a lot of OP08 in my own personal experience. I've seen some tournament results, and this is kind of my idea for it. So based on tournament results, I think that in general, Red Purple Law was very strong. And so I think Black Maria was a card that was just something that helped push it over the edge in a lot of ways. It just kind of interacted very well with that deck and was really able to take advantage of this card. And then the other thing was Gecko Moria. The deck, the card's only been around for a couple sets, but it's pretty clear that this card just breaks a lot of combos and a lot of card design. The fact that you're able to use it to just play so many bodies, especially with the recursion and everything else that we have available for this game, these are the two cards that I thought were the strongest cards in the meta. And in general, it showed that Red Purple Law was over half the meta in Japan, and Rob Lucci was the second most popular after that. So those are kind of the indications of why I chose these cards. So and what was actually hit was kind of in the similar vein, but vastly different cards in a lot of ways. So I had a lot of people say that they wanted the leader itself banned, and I agree with the honestly, a lot of people are telling me, looking at the data and based on their own opinions, it was doing just as good, if not better, than Sakazuki when it got its ban warranted. So I completely understand from this. I'm not upset personally either. I usually don't like leaders getting banned, which is the case for this situation. But honestly, when I was thinking about it, I made the video looking through comments and having it just run through my head in the last couple of days. And I'm like, you know what? I think Red Purple Law probably deserves a ban, and I'm not too surprised about this one. So I think that's completely warranted based on it. I know that it kind of breaks game design and kind of breaks the color rules for what red and purple do in a lot of ways. So I think it's an effective ban for just the meta in general, at least, and an OP08 kind of idea. And I think moving to OP09, I think a lot of people will be happy that this won't be a majority of the meta in Asia anymore. So, and then the other card is Ines Lobby, which I completely would not have guessed for this one. I think obviously like Black was doing good. I don't know what this is going to do besides just hurt Rob Lucci a little bit. I do think it's warranted. Just being able to, for no Dawn, attack with leader and use Ines Lobby's effect, give something -3. That's a lot of cost reduction for, based on that setup for it, especially since the trigger off of life, you get to play it for free in a 5-life leader. You'd hit this, above average compared to a lot of other things. So I think that's fine of a hit, but it's a curious one this is it. There's no like second page. This is the entirety of the restriction list. So this is going live September 1st for Japan. We still don't have an effective date for us here in the United States. And by still, I mean this was announced a couple of hours ago, so that's totally fine. But I do hope that this is something that we are getting in OP08. I'm going to keep that mentality of that's what's going to happen for it, mostly because that's what I really, really want. I don't want to play through, a couple months of Red Purple Law being the best deck in the format by a wide margin, as we've kind of shown in previous videos too. So, but I also think that Gecko Moria and Rebecca and that whole kind of combo and interaction that has, I'm very surprised that they're still okay with that existing in the game at the current rate of what everything's kind of looking like. So maybe it'll be fine. We'll have to see what the format looks like. Again, if it's OP08 when we get the restriction list, maybe it'll be fine. But I'm really surprised that none of that card combo got hit, since it's been very overtuned for a while, and I don't think I don't know. It's just been very, very strong. So also we did get a new Star Deck 10 Law leader. So this is kind of in the same vein of Sakazuki, where they ban the leader, but they still want to make a leader to facilitate the archetype and everything else. So it is strictly worse, kind of like the Sakazuki leader too, but it says activate main once per turn for Dawn -3. You may return one of your own, so your own 3,000 or more characters to the bottom of your deck if you do play up to 1 Heart Pirates type card with a cost of 4 or less. So yeah, strictly worse. You have to go minus on your own characters. You have to be able to it's a 4 or less Heart Pirates only, so way more specific, way less like good tempo. Being able to play, like, you used to be able to swing your Dawn -3, but being able to play out some stuff. So Kitten Killer's not a Heart Pirate. We have like Sachi Penguin, we have the 4-drop blocker and that kind of stuff. So maybe there's some stuff for this deck. I think if we're playing red purple, I think maybe Luffy might be better, especially with the a lot of people have been theory crafting with some of the new cards already announced for OP09. So we'll see. I think this is just going to be a fancy binder collection card, just like Sakazuki, but I've been wrong before, clearly, so that could be the case for this one too. So we'll see, but I have no real high hopes I'm not going to be playing this leader when it comes out, so we'll go from there. But lastly, I did want to kind of go over some like knee-jerk winners for this restriction list. These are completely just it's like 4 a.m. here. I'm just thinking about what I think is good, and I could wake up in the morning and be like, these are completely bad choices, and this is just on the top of my head, my thoughts, and you guys can have your own in the below. But also, this is going into OP08, and I have very little interaction with that meta, primarily with my own experience, just kind of seeing tournament results, but from leaders that I know exist from OP07 and my interaction with it. One, Reiju, I think, is a complete winner. It's been doing a little bit in OP07 as is, and that's with Law around, which is clearly the worst matchup for the deck, but we have some new tools that we can use with it too. It can also take advantage of Black Maria, and this is a deck that with the idea that Red Purple Law was going to get hit, Reiju is definitely one of the decks that could benefit the most from it. So I think that's in a good spot. So we'll see if any Reiju gets bought out or starts doing well, if again this is an OP08 or even OP09. So other one is Nami. I think Nami has been honestly on the rise here in North America. It did just win the big Pasadena regional that happened this past weekend, and mostly because and then I interviewed the winner. Didn't play any Red Purple Law the entire weekend, which was traditionally the worst matchup for Nami, and everything else. I think Nami's in a good spot for things in the current OP07 meta. We'll have to see if it will be able to get some footholds in OP08, but this is definitely a deck that I think benefits from it, and Red Purple Law was a deck that would probably keep this away at bay, but I am honestly like in an alternate wing deck condition, not like Nami. If it's too popular, the game feels really, really bad in my own opinion. So we'll have to see if I'm right or wrong on that. But it definitely has a lot to gain with Red Purple Law not being around. Next up is Monkey D. Luffy, and it's not even like he got like necessarily better. It's just that Gecko Moria is still around. I know a lot of people, including myself to some degree, thought like, oh, if they banned Gecko Moria, Black Yellow Luffy doesn't exist as a leader anymore, and they did not, so he definitely does. So I think he's been doing good in Japan as is, but just the fact that we're able to be around. I think Red Purple Law was one of the harder matchups for us too, and so being able to just lose one of our harder matchups is really, really good for us. So we'll see if there's like a bigger boogeyman that like Black Yellow Luffy can't really contend with, but it was I don't know, like Gecko Moria as a leader and Rob Lucci, they can still survive a little in some regard without Gecko Moria around. Black Yellow Luffy likely would have to have a big change if it wanted to survive. So having Gecko Moria still is really good for the deck. And then just Nell, I think it had a really bad matchup into Red Purple Law as well, just a little bit too aggressive and not really having some good ways to remove bodies effectively and not get run down. So I do think Enel might be on the rise again. I also think that it did get really affected by the stage that would be run in Rob Lucci. the fact that we just try to play a 7, 8, 9 cost every turn, if Rob Lucci's able to just like Tempest Kick, Stage, and Leader Effect, that gives -6 all by itself. So there's a lot of situations where they could you would just play a card and they'd be able to remove it immediately, which felt really bad. So I think because of that, Enel might be in a little bit better since there's a little bit more cost reduction and effort to remove their big bodies in Rob Lucci, and also that red purple law got hit, which was a harder matchup for Enel. I think in this format too. So we'll see if these are correct or not. I have mild faith, but no stakes in saying this. But these are ones that I'm thinking are going to be doing a little bit better potentially in the OP08 meta if it does get affected for us here in North America. If it's an OP09. Who knows? That is too far in the future. I haven't done enough research or had enough experience with it. So last thing though, which is I think interesting, is that I think that there is a good potential that some OP08 leaders will be wildly more playable. I know Calgara is probably of these 6 the best one that we have right now. The fact that it's it just has kind of a bad matchup into what is currently in the meta for OP08 in Japan too. But I know a lot of people when we saw these leaders released and announced, specifically the ones I'll say are Marco and Charlotte Pudding, people thought the game is over. These leaders are too good and they're too strong. And because they're 4-life leaders that need a little bit of setup, which Red Purple Law did not afford them in a lot of cases, they did not really perform in Japan's OP08 meta. So if we get the restriction list in OP08, I can see Marco and Pudding being stronger leaders for sure and having some potential. King as well. Just King is, again, more of a late game kind of control deck with the Dawn -2 to either draw a card or give something -2 cost. So I think those 3 have some potential. I know Carrot and Calgar are probably currently the best in this meta of OP08 of these leaders, mostly because they are 5-life leaders, which means they can survive against Red Purple Law a little bit better. But again, I haven't had a lot of OP08 experience. We don't know when this is going to hit us in North America, and we'll just kind of have to see. But these are just kind of my thoughts for this meta and for the restriction list. So I'm still a little bit, as we go through this and making this video, I'm really surprised Black didn't get hit harder, to be honest. It's just been probably, I think ideally the best color in this game since probably OP05, and I don't really see that going away immediately, but maybe some new decks that were put or couldn't survive because Red Purple Law might rise up, and I can be definitely wrong on that too. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts in below. I'm sure you've already typed up something. I'm going to go to bed because I'm exhausted. I've had a long weekend of One Piece tournaments and everything else, but I did want to make this video for you all as well. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you all next time.